Hello again, I'm back with my Bjork vinyl collection. Just a few things to show right now. This is for the Post album and after Post. The first one is actually the 180 gram version of Post. My copy is in a poly sleeve that it came in. It's still sealed. Got a little flap there. I've never opened it or played this particular one. There's actually now a 200 gram version, which I need to pick up still. So with that's Post. Moving on to this second one is my Army of Me British promo. This is a double 12-inch. And it has 4 tracks on it, one song on each side. And I was actually with Brett when I found this about 8 years ago. I got this downtown at one of the shops. It's got double 12-inch. This is the promo. So, a couple remixes, and then of course the instrumental versions. I have Army of Me on that. So I was pretty excited when I found this. So I actually have a French CD version, which is kind of similar. It opens and there's a Astro Bjork that pops up in the gatefold section, so I'll be showing that later. Second is part 1 for Hyperballad. This is part 1. This is the Tawi Tai remix and How We Be remix. There was, all of these featured a line from each song. This one says, car parts, bottles, and cutlery. And on the 10-inch versions, they were misprinted on some of the copies of them, which were later corrected. This is part 2. And this has the David Morales and the Tease Freeze mix. So, these were pretty cool. I don't really play those very much, being that I have them on CD. Hyperballad was one of those singles that there were several different formats and several, I think, 23 different remixes of the song. These are the LFO mixes on the 10-inch version, which the word edge on some copies were misprinted. On mine it's not, but on some of them it was. And the back side there. They all say promotional copy on them, so they were pretty limited. This is part 2, and this is the Outcast mixes. Had a very noisy version of Hyperballad, which really didn't feature the vocal tag. It's the Over the Edge mix, and then there was later a series on 5 12-inches of singles, which had further Over the Edge mix, which was even noisier yet. I believe Bjork played this version of Hyperballad once at Wembley Arena during one of her shows, which was later released as a 1-track on the Possibly Maybe CD single. The first single to come out in America was Hyperballad, well, second single I should say, but the first on 12-inch was Hyperballad, and this had David Morales, Todd Terry, LFO mixes. So, very cool. It's plain, this just has a sticker on the front. Later on, Bjork released a remix album called Telegram, and it was basically Bjork's favorite mixes of all the songs that had come off of Post that were remixed by a lot of different artists. And she put those all in one 12-inch. So, there's actually two different versions of this. The import version features micro dots that are in silver the entire screen, which you'd have to look at close up to see them. There was a single released off of that in the US, and that was the I Miss You, and this has the RH Factor mixes, which I always felt were pretty terrible. This is the US promo. There's actually a part 2 of this, which the pink is different, and I thought I found one. I was actually with Brett when I found this as well. I ended up buying a second one because I thought I'd found part 2, and when I got back to home and I went through my collection, I realized I'd actually just bought a double of that one. So unfortunately I only have 2 of part 1. The first singles off of Telegram were Enjoy, and this has the Beats mix and possibly maybe the Lucy mix. And these were limited to 1,000 copies, which was kind of cool because it's these are 2 mixes that weren't on Telegram, which I was hoping Telegram would have been an album of completely unreleased mixes, so we'd get something new, but we didn't. We just got old stuff. So, part 2 was possibly maybe an I Miss You remixes. Again, limited to 1,000 copies. On this one I got number 538. So that one's pretty cool. I love the artwork on these particular 2 singles. Especially kind of reminds me of the art of one of the covers for the Bjork fan club telegraph for the fan club, which only 3 were ever released, and so I only got 2 of them in the mail, and she stopped doing it and she started doing it digitally on her website, which isn't nearly as fun as getting a physical item. So that's it right now. I'll be showing more videos tomorrow. I think tomorrow is another record shopping day with Brett, so we'll probably make a video on our finds tomorrow. So we'll see you tomorrow. Thanks. Bye.